Running a Fever, episode 27. Ricing.
Okay, here we are, not running today, not working out today on purpose. So I'm recording in the studio today. I'm not out on the trail, as you can probably tell. And we've been talking about my knee injury for the last 2 or 3 days. And this is part of the whole thing. So I don't have a problem with, I'm not worried about just being a complaining show. I do want it not to be, so another thing I've been concerned about is, let me first explain what's going on. So I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with my knee. I just know there's a problem and I've got some pain there. And I'm hopefully going to get a better diagnosis in the next couple days. But I spoke to some of my advisors today, and I got a lot of good advice. But and probably if you went to a doctor, 2 different doctors, you'd also get a little difference in what they tell you. Hopefully, anyway. That's a good indication, and there's not a cut and dried solution for everything. So I got some advice, and one of them said that this is a runner who's been doing this for a while, Nick. It's okay to say his name, I guess, since he's agreed to an interview in the future. But Nick says, if I'm feeling pain, don't go out and work out. And then just kind of take it easy. If I'm not feeling any pain, if I can, squeeze it and not feel any pain, then I can go out and try to start a workout again. The other advice I got was from a guy who I'll call Coach, and he is the one with coaching experience. And he suggested, well, what's going on is you've got something going on in your leg, and your body is reacting to that by sending white blood cells in there to fix whatever the problem is. And you need to ice it to keep blood and, stuff from building up in there. Also, you need to have some circulation. So he recommended that I maybe work out once every other day, even if there's some pain, if it's, as long as it's not too bad. So what I'm doing is I'm sitting here right now, got my leg in a chair, and I've got an ice pack on my leg. So I'm going to do that for 20 minutes. Some recommendations are that you ice it twice a day for 20 minutes. Coach says 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, as long as you can stand it. So again, I'm thinking, I'm trying to kind of weigh all this advice. So I'm taking today off from a workout. That's a fact. And I'm icing. So the other thing that both of them said is when you start to work out, you're going to be more prone to injury. Nick said that he had more injuries in the first 18 months than he has later on. I want to make sure I get to that 18 months. And so I'm going to, take it easy. If I have to decrease my schedule, I'm fine with that. I really like the idea of going out there every day, but it's fine. I want to do what I have to do to keep this going for the long term. So one of the things, Coach said, maybe for that first year you have to go, until you get in shape a little bit, your body gets used to this. You have to go and just do it 3 times a week or every other day, not go 2 days in a row. And overuse is apparently one of the things that causes injury. Wouldn't surprise me if working out every day, especially having not been on this kind of routine for a long time, that I'm suffering from overuse, and that's what has caused my injury. But I have a plan so one of the things is like now, it's in a way it's kind of good to have it, because now I realize how much energy I have that I didn't have before. I really want to go out every day, and I have the energy and the desire to do that. As Nick said, gung-ho to do it. As I've said before, there's always plenty of things to do and not enough time to do them. I got a lot more done last night than I thought I would. I got home, I went to the grocery, got showered, went to the grocery store, big, huge grocery trip. Came back, ate my dinner, primed a whole wall in this room I got to paint. Took a break from that and let it dry and just did some podcasting work. So I actually got a lot more done than I thought I would. Earlier in the day, I guess I was thinking it was like having something at night that I had to do, but it wasn't. I didn't. So as soon as I was done working out, I was back here and had plenty of time. But I have plenty of activity. It's just not so much physical activity. Mental activity can also make me fatigued. It's in a way just as taxing as physical activity. But I want to stay focused on my fitness. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that time, now that I've gotten used to taking out that time every day, and I'm going to do the things I need to do. One is at least icing twice a day, 20 minutes. So I'm going to do that. That was recommended to me. There's some alternate activities that were recommended. Nick said I could do, maybe an elliptical would not have the impact that running does. I don't have access to something like that right now. I don't even have like a regular bicycle. I don't have that kind of thing that I can do exercise with. I used to work out at a gym when I lived in an apartment complex and had one. I did a little treadmill there, little weights a couple of years ago. Actually, no, it was earlier this year. But I don't have access to that now, so I'm probably going to go ahead and try to work out tomorrow and at least walk for a little bit. Definitely not running till this heals. I think walking might be a good idea just to get some circulation in there. So that'll help me stay on track. I'm going to do that. And I want to try and put some more emphasis on my diet and weight loss program, how to do that in a healthy way. Picked up some lettuce at the grocery store last night. Maybe I'll have a salad tonight. Those are the things I'm going to continue to do to keep the fever. I don't know that I'm going to be doing a studio podcast every day that I'm not running it. But I wanted to do this because I have a lot of information, and I wanted to just get that out and explain what's going on. And by now, you're at least getting the podcast twice a week. Would like to go to more often than that, maybe 3 times a week. It's never going to be a daily podcast because I only run maximum once a day, pretty much. So I won't be able to indefinitely put out a podcast every day. The people who do that generally do them in batches. Anyway, I hope this has been useful. I just want to let you know that I'm not giving up, and we're going to work through this, and it'll be great because now we'll understand the process, how to deal with these injuries that inevitably will come up if you've been living a sedentary life and haven't been running, or maybe you're older. If you're in the situation like I am, I'm going to learn how to deal with this situation through this and how to get back into the exercise program. And it's definitely a setback. Perhaps we can continue going forward. I know we can eventually, but this is a time for assessment and doing the important things for. I learned a new acronym today. R.I.C.E. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. I've got to figure out the compression part. I think I'm going to need to wear something to compress. But anyway, that's good to know, and I hope that you're getting something good out of this, and I'll probably be speaking to you from the trail tomorrow. Till then, keep the fever. This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.